Shalom people, this is Brother Lyles coming at you with another video. And I watched a report the other day that said that they had done the first successful transplant of a pig's heart into a human. Now the human that they did the transplant on was, they said that they was in a vegetative state, they were brain dead. But the family had agreed to let the doctors do the transplant, and after the transplant, they said the family was going to take the person off of life support. So this won't be a person that's walking around with a pig heart in them. But I do believe, this is just what I believe, they've already done it before. I do believe that there are people that are walking around with animal organs inside of them, because when they want to introduce something that they have already been doing for a long time, they can't just give it to you right then that we have been doing this. They got to kind of ease you into it, just like they eased us into abortion. They eased us into these vaccinations, as I stated in my video the other day. They ease you into this stuff, right? Because if you can remember, this is not new. When you used to get your stitches in the past, the stitches that you got when you got a cut or they stitched up people's organs inside, they was using cat guts. Cat guts was what they made stitches out. They used to. They don't anymore, I don't think, because Humane Society and people like that kind of got behind the push to eliminate that. So I'm wondering what the Humane Society is going to say about this. I say that there's going to probably be a big donation that's going to be going to some of the animal rights organizations around the world to quiet them about this, because they're going to probably say, well, we did this and we did that or whatever. I really believe that you're not going to hear anything from the animal rights people. I just leave it like that. But also, you can remember Senator Jesse Helms. He was a senator here from the state of North Carolina, very racist man. He got, I think they said they took the artery of a pig and put it into his heart or into his neck. I can't remember which one. And that was some years ago. And let's not forget the experiments that were done by the Nazis in World War II. They was doing all kinds of experimentation, successful. They were doing things to change people's eyes to blue and hair to blonde hair and all this kind of stuff that they were doing. And a lot of those scientists came over here to America in Operation Paperclip, where they brought all these Nazis over here. So when they was talking about these quote unquote Nazi hunters, all they had to do was go to United States government and they would have said, hey, we got a boatload of them here. In fact, Dr. Werner von Braun, who was part of the Paramunda rocket experiments, he was a Nazi. Now they said, well, he had to become a Nazi if he wanted to continue with his scientific work or whatever. So we forgive him of all the experimentation on people, because we can't let all his work he did for Hitler go to waste. So we're gonna bring him over here and let him be one of the ones that help us bring about the creation of NASA. And also, if you ever go to Huntsville, Alabama, everything there pretty much you can, the growth of the city and all that, you can attribute to Werner von Braun, right? They got the von Braun Center, all of that. I was stationed there at the Army base there, Redstone Arsenal Missile and Munition Center. All that came about because of Werner von Braun, and he was a Nazi. So they had Nazi doctors and all this that was doing these kinds of experiments. So you're not telling me that they haven't done this. They just easing you into what they have been doing for a long time now. I believe the push is on because the spotlight is being shined on human trafficking, so they can't get those free organs like they were getting from sex trafficking and human trafficking like they were, because they're doing all these things and catching all these high profile people and things like that. So they got to turn to plan B, right, which is using animal organs, right? And so this is actually what they are doing. And this was brought out in scientific journals and things years ago, where they said what we could do is we could grow human organs inside of animals that were similar to us, right? And then they could harvest those organs out of the animals. So they're crossing human and animal DNA together, which is against the laws of the Most High. He stated to us in all throughout Leviticus and many other books in the Old Testament that we were not supposed to do this. And that's why I say this stuff has been done in Noah's time. When we read Genesis 6, what did it say about the sons of Yah, the angels that came down and mated with women and produced the Gaborim, the giants, the ones of renown? And Yeshua said before his coming, this is what we would see. So now we are entering into the age of not only the mark of the beast, but beast hearts in men. Not that men needed beast hearts to be put into them to act like beasts, because they're going to act like beasts anyway, but they really going to act like beasts. So you think that the mark of the beast is going to be a big thing when you got people that's going to have pig heart, goat lungs. They're going to have probably, they say that sheep or goats, female organs are similar to human females organs. Can you imagine the debauchery that's going to be brought about by this? I've seen art where they drew, some people drew this likeness of what they would see if you had a goat female with a kind of goat-like features, but it had a very sexy body, right? Sort of like some kind of mindless, sex crazed animal thing that you're gonna have men. They already said that they had men that like sleeping with sheep and goats, but now they're gonna have ones that could probably have forms of women. Do you understand the debauchery that's getting ready to be unleashed on this earth? That's why the Bible says that if Yeshua doesn't come back soon, no flesh would survive. None, not even the animals. And this is what the Bible said that was happening in Noah's time. He said it was abusing the creatures too. That was messing with them. So now what they've been doing secretly in labs, they want to expose it to the public. And you're going to have people, you already have people. I've seen this man that wanted to make himself into a reptile. This was years ago. So now this is going to be possible, where they can probably give people lizard-like skin, lizard tongues, all this kind of stuff. Now they're going to just open it up to the public. They're gonna open it up because men's hearts are only evil continually. That's the way it was in Noah's time, and he said it would be the same at the coming of the Son of Man. And so that now this to me shows this is the, in my belief, this is how this CV virus got into the human chain. We already know that they said they was messing around with these bats in these caves in China, these same bats that the Chinese people eat in these wet markets. and they was experimenting, they said, to see if this virus that these bats had could possibly be transmitted to humans. So how we already know that they have been doing experiments on rats that had human organs in them, so that they could bypass doing experiments on real humans. They put human DNA in the rats to do experiments on them, but there were scientists that were protesting and said, if you do this, if you cross these species, you could possibly create a disease that has never existed before, or you could break the human animal barrier that y'all put in place to keep certain diseases that we got from affecting animals, and keep certain diseases that they got from affecting us. Because they want us to believe in, and there's plenty of scientists are gonna sit there and they're gonna, because they want to be with their colleagues, they're gonna agree that, oh yes, it's always been possible for animal viruses and stuff to transmit wholesale over to us and get us sick. I'm not stating that I don't believe that in some instances that can happen, but not to the degree that it is now, because you will find that in nature there are certain animals that carry tuberculosis, carry TB, carry leprosy in their bodies, but it doesn't affect them. But if they're doing this and messing with this barrier, it's gonna cross. And I believe that's what happened, either by mistake or by purpose, that they put probably some human organs inside these bats, and either the bats got loose from the lab and got back into the caves with the other bats and mated, and something happened, and then the people caught the bats, and they eat them, and then they ingested it because the human animal barrier had been broken, and they just didn't say nothing, or they had the virus and they actually in the lab from messing with the bats, and they just actually released it into human to see what was going to happen. Either way, we know that they have been dealing with that in China, because China does not regulate itself to any of those bio laws that, quote unquote, the Western nations say they abide by, which we know they do not abide by them. They have secret labs and different places where they do this stuff because they say it's for the greater good. Did not Dr. Fauci said that he would have been irresponsible if he wouldn't have gone over to Wuhan when they was doing those experiments with those bats and not found out if the virus that the bats had could be passed to him? He said it would be irresponsible if I knew these experiments were going on, that I didn't go over there and observe. I didn't have anything to do with the experiments. I was just observing if it was possible. But then it's funny that you said in 2017 that a major outbreak was going to happen during Donald Trump's presidency. And our people are fighting to save Dr. Fauci. Our people, for our own self-destruction, we are fighting for this individual who also has something to do with the AIDS virus in the 1970s and 80s, with the creation of these drugs to combat it, that most of our people took and died. That they used Magic Johnson as a mouthpiece, a voice piece out there. And now it's being probably shown that a lot of the medications that they were giving people was killing them, was breaking their immune system down. And that the way that they treated people with HIV and AIDS in Africa was different than the way they treated them here in America. And so here we go again, that the Most High said that we are sottish people. We are stupid people. He puts it right in front of our face. And it's the same way with who we were. And I'm throwing my hands up to say I was a stupid person. That all those years that I was reading the Bible, that I didn't see that we were the people. Because once again, Bible said, because we rejected our Messiah. He brought all these things, but praise be to Yah for his mercy and grace that he started illuminating our mind. Now, what has happened with us learning more stuff is that now they're coming up with this term woke, and it's being used as a joke, sort of like instead of calling us conspiracy theorists, they're calling us woke. It's the same difference. They came up with the thing conspiracy theory around the time when Caucasian people was waking up to the wickedness of their government with the assassination of JFK, because a lot of people just couldn't believe that a lone gunman could take JFK out and the governor of Texas or whoever that was in that car. They just didn't believe it. And so what the CIA came up with, because we know the CIA probably had something to do with the assassination of JFK and many other entities also, and probably Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they came up with the term conspiracy theory to make any plausible theory seem ridiculous. So now I don't take that moniker. I just say that I'm asking the Holy Spirit to lead and guide me into all truth. Because now what we know is that sometimes they release false information that our people will grab hold to that's false, and then if we push it, then that definitely will make us seem like we're a conspiracy theory nut. And also the fact that even if it's true, if the right wing of the Caucasian people pushes it, they'll try to connect us with that and say, are you part of the white ring conspiracy, even though it might be true? You understand what I'm saying? These people use wicked tactics in order to continue their reign of terror. And now they want to do bioterrorism against everybody, black, white, whoever, with this thing of human organs, pig organs, all this stuff being mixed up. So what next are they going to do, right? Are they going to take the eyes out of goats and other dogs and stuff and putting them in people's eyes so they can see? You understand the madness that Yah, but our Bible said, because of this, the wrath of Yah is released on this earth. But this lets us know that the Most High is going to have to do something. We know that wait, let me take that back. He's doing what he's always done. He's not changed his plan. He said that evil men would wax worse and worse. So he's allowing it, because when he brings the hammer down, it's not gonna be no excuse. It's not gonna be no excuse at all. So I would be on the alert if you were a person that needs a organ transplant, because what they're gonna do, like I said, what they doing, they're growing human organs inside of the animals. So there is a cross of DNA. But what they're gonna do when you get the organ, they're gonna be able to lawfully say, you are getting a human heart, you are getting human lungs, you're getting human kidneys. But what they ain't gonna tell you is that they were grown in animals, and and who knows the complications in the fact that the Bible says the mark of the beast, that you wouldn't not consider yourself to be human anymore. You're gonna have animal stuff in you. Do you understand? What if they start doing brain transplants where they put the human mind into an animal? We better wake up. Whoever that's looking at this video, black, white, whoever, Hebrew, Gentile, you better wake up, because this thing is coming fast and furious. Forget getting a chip in your right hand in your forehead. You're talking about animal organs, beast organs in you. You will be a beast. You won't need the mark of the beast. You will be an actual beast. And I know I'm getting kind of uptight about this thing, but do you understand the wickedness of this? You understand that that you're gonna take people that's gonna be desperate and they're dying and different things, and you're gonna give them this, and some people gonna take it. They're gonna like, look, I gotta live, I gotta walk again, I gotta see again, I gotta hear again. And before you know it, like I said, this place is gonna be like Noah's day. And the Bible said this time he's not gonna destroy it by water. He said he's gonna have to burn it up. See, right now, you know, over 70% of the surface of the earth is covered with water. And then there's some places they said they really don't know how far down that the ocean is deep. I would dare say that in a lot of these deep places, these were once places that were land that carried these different creatures and stuff, that Yah buried them deep, deep, deep beneath the ocean. This is why you find that a lot of the creatures that people worship in Africa, that dealing with water, right? They water spirits. They say that they move because some of these creatures, right? Because they were half human, half animal, they couldn't go to heaven because they weren't human, but they couldn't go to hell because they, you know, so what happens is their spirit roams around this earth as demons, unclean, and it's an untold amount of them, but they were half human, half animal. They didn't have a place. They just roam. They're not animal, they're not angel, they're not human. They're just a combination of all of this. Now, of course, when the time gonna come that they're gonna be cast into the lake of fire. That's what happened when Yeshua went to the country of the Gadarenes, and the man had the legion in him, and the spirits, these demon spirits, said, have you come to torment us before the time? Meaning we can roam around freely, but are you gonna grab us up and throw us into the abyss now? And he told those spirits, they asked, can we go into the herd of swine? Why? Because they're used to this crossing, mixing it in. And do you not understand that when you cross these animals organs into people, that this is going to be make these people bodies more inhabitable for these spirits that willingly wanted to go into the filthy swine. But even the filthy swine didn't want the demon spirits in them. The pigs went, it said, and jumped off into the ocean, into the abyss. Now that word in the Greek, abyss, is a buso. So once the pigs died, those demon spirits had to go into the abyss. They had to go into the place where the fallen angels are right now, where Judas is, a special place. This is below hell. This is below Gehenna hell. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the same spirits that's going to be inhabiting people, not to mention whatever kind of spirit animals have in them anyway. So with that, I'd like to tell you, just be very prayerful. Pray for our Messiah to come back soon. Pray for the judgment of Yah to continue to fall upon these wicked people. You know? So give this video a thumbs up. I want you to subscribe, and I want you to share. Be blessed.